was listening to it, I was like, this isn't going to help me at the bank. This is definitely going to help me more as a coach. And basically it's called like cracking your code. So basically, how many of you have had an issue ever connecting with somebody through a conversation? Like they were just straight off, turned off by the way you were talking to them. Probably everybody at one point in time. I know, definitely me. But this, what it's nice is it kind of gives you like a breakdown using the acronym, I think is the right word, BANK. So basically it's blueprint, action, nurturing, or knowledge. Those are the 4 big types of personalities when it comes to conversations. And basically, so my personal my personal layout blueprint of it is NABK. So basically I'm a nurturing action person with a back of a blueprint, and I'm lastly knowledge, because really I don't need to know the details. But there's a lot of people, so I figure I will give you what the values are of each one, and you guys can kind of get your idea of where you sit. So for a blueprint, which I kind of already know which one of you guys are going to be blueprint, it's stability, structure, systems, planning, processes, predictability, responsibility, duty, rules, credentials, titles, and tradition. Yeah, most of the time this is going to be your type 1s because they are planners. They're very detail oriented. They want things to go the way that they need it to be. And then opposite of that is your actions. So you value freedom, flexibility, spontaneity, action, opportunity, excitement, attention, stimulation, competition, winning, fun, and your image is important, which I am a very close second of action because I really love my freedom. I just like to do whatever I want to do. I don't need a plan to have it done. But if you talk to me that way, I'm not really going to listen to you because then I feel like pressured. So more so, my first one is nurturing. And I value relationships, authenticity, personal growth, significance, teamwork, involvement, community, charity, ethics, harmony, morality, and contribution. So I value everybody coming together and being one instead of dog eat dog kind of world. And if you talk to me that way, I'm more than likely about to be like, yep, sign me up, let's go, let's be friends. And then you have your knowledge, which is learning, intelligence, logic, self-mastery, technology, research and development, science, universal truth, expertise, competence, accuracy, and the big picture. So these are your number people. These are the ones that want to know all the bullet points first before they even do anything else, and they have to make the decision for themselves. You are not going to help them make their decision. They have to see everything, they have to learn everything, and then they'll come to you with it as their idea, basically. So basically this quiz, and I can forward it to anybody who would like to do it. Sorry, I'm out of breath already. But this quiz basically lines up and tells you exactly how you are. So you line it in order of most important to least important. And you are all 4. You're not all 4. Like you're definitely going to be an action person, even if you are a knowledge person, but you're not going to be able to like listen to people that way, but you can talk to people that way. And so what this quiz does is it teaches you how to talk to people with your blueprint. And like if somebody matched my nurturing, I'm going to be able to talk to them very easily because I can just be straight myself and not have to worry about anything. They're going to react the same way I would react to them talking to me the way. But if I go at a knowledge person with my nurturing skills, they're going to look at me like, okay, you're too much. Like you need to back off a little bit. This is my thing. I'm an individualist type deal. And basically they're just going to turn me off. But if I switch the way, or if we switch the way that we think about it, if we figure out like Michael is a blueprint, so I'm not going to go to her and be like, hey, I love this teamwork, let's do this together, we can all succeed. I'm more so going to be like, hey, I have this plan for you, and I know how to make this work, and we just have to do A, B, C, And this is what's going to happen if you do ABC. She's gonna be like, okay, yeah, sign me up. But if I go to her and I'm like, okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to do this like all over the place. Let's go crazy and just do spontaneity. She's going to be like, get me out of here. So it's really cool because, and I don't have this on my iPad, or I would share my screen to show you exactly my whole blueprint. Actually, you know what I can do? I'm going to do it so I can share, because this would be much easier if you guys could see the full blueprint too. You're gonna have to let me in again in a second. Okay. Can you let me in? Okay, so I'm going to share my phone because I will actually show you guys my, oh, never mind. I can't share in the meeting because I'm not the host. Never mind. I can show you my blueprint later. But what happens is after you take this quiz, you get a copy of it. So it shows you, sorry, Tenley just woke up. Tenley. I'm just a hot mess express right now. It's not even funny. So anyway, what happens is this thing breaks down exactly how I would talk to people if they matched my blueprint, but how I like to be talked to also. But it also gives you like the values of the people. And there is a way that you can get your own thing. So if you had challengers take it, it would shoot you their stuff, but it's too expensive for me to even try. But what's really neat is underneath here, it gives you like your strengths of each one. So it'll tell you like nurturing strengths, or like imaging and inspiring and mentoring and motivating, where actions are more of competing and closing sales, pulling things together and realistic problem solving. But then you have your blueprints who are great at like commitment and details, creating agendas and implementing and organizing and planning. And then your knowledge is like more of like a multitasking, abstract thinking, problem solving, and like using diagrams and models. Like they're going to be the ones that like create these huge graphs to explain one little thing. So this thing is really, really neat because it also will give you the triggers of each, because it'll tell you, okay, if you go out a nurturing and you say it's not really a big community, it's just kind of your own thing, or you don't share like actual stories that have happened, so before and afters from people, or how your team went from like 0 to hero real quick. A nurturing's not going to look at it that way. And this thing's really neat because it'll tell you like tips of how to talk to each type of like first level blueprint. But I thought it was really neat because obviously as coaches, like we're not selling something to somebody, but we are trying to help them change their lifestyles. And some people are very stuck in their lifestyles and they enjoy their lifestyles the way they are. So they're not going to be very open to hearing about it. As soon as you say, well, I work out every day and I do this and I do that, they're going to be like, so you're trying to sell me something. Obviously you're not all the time. You're more so trying to sell them a lifestyle change instead of an actual product to do. And this helps you just be able to speak to those people in their language. It's almost like they speak a different language, but obviously they're not. But it's really neat because it'll give you those tips and it'll give you those ways of kind of like not going after them in certain ways. That's why it's nice to know what their blueprint is. But this thing is like a flashcard. So you can just kind of do what I did and go through and say, who values these? Who values that? Who values this? Like I can even probably make a list up and we can use it as something to send our challengers. And they could just be like, oh, you know what? I really like this, this, and this, and there's 3 from a knowledge. Okay, so I might talk to my knowledge person. I need to tell them exact pounds somebody's lost, how much it's exactly going to cost them every month. I'm going to break it down by detail, and I'm not going to word vomit community and teamwork and stuff like that. I'm going to be like, hey, you can make this, you can do this, and you're going to lose this. So, and they're going to more than likely listen to you and actually be into it and actually interested. So I will definitely, I think pretty much everybody wanted that link. I think I saw in the chat. Yeah, so I'll just post the link on our page. That way everybody has it, because I know Jamie probably would want it too. But I thought it was really, really interesting because it's just a really great way to dissect our challengers instead of really like worrying about if you're coming off too strong or if you're coming off too easy, because there are people that need that, like, bang them out with details and give them everything, give them the action steps and everything like that. But there's those ones where it's like, okay, let's take it a little easy. Let's just focus on exactly what they want to get out of this. And that's the biggest thing that we want to know is, what are you wanting to get? What are your goals? This is going to be the easiest way to figure out how to get their goals. Yeah, I'm going to share it on the team page. But it takes like 90 seconds to do it, and it gives you a full report and emails it to you, which is really cool. And maybe even we can even share each other's reports, because maybe each of us will have different. So if we all have different, we'll see all the different triggers and all the different details in each report, just so we can all kind of use them instead of, it's like $29 a month just to be able to do this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. It was like $29 a year, maybe. But it was like, I called the lady because she did really well, and she's one of the creators of it. And it was really neat hearing it from her. And I'm sure even if I wanted her to, she could come on here and do it. But she just kind of goes through and goes into detail of each one and how they break down and different things like that. But that's about all I got.
Well, awesome. It sounds like it's just a different kind of personality test, pretty much. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And they all do the same thing, where they help us to build relationships with people speaking their own language, just like you said.
Exactly.
Because, you know, that's like, do you guys remember at the retreat when Casey was getting like super fired up and like talking intensely in her, oh, I guess you guys weren't there. I'm sorry. This was for our Enneagram training. But Casey, like, so she's a type 1 like me, but she's like an intense type 1, like super passionate type 1. And so she was talking to the teacher about something she'd experienced, and literally Heather, the peacemaker sitting next to me on my other side, was like red and was like, because it was like getting too confrontational for her, and she was like literally like freaking out next to me. And she was like, yeah, if Casey came at me like that, like I would not respond well. I would not be able to connect with her or talk with her or anything, because like it was so intense for Heather to, you know, to respond it that way. Even for me as a 1, I was like, I mean, I accept it as passionate, but she just was like, this is what you have to do, and this is what you do. And, you know, she's very much a just do it kind of person.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you don't talk to somebody in their actual language of how they see things or how they respond well to things, then you may miss an opportunity to help them in some way. So yeah, definitely share that in the team page, and I'm sure we can all take that, and we'll definitely share our results. Jen, have you ever taken the Enneagram test?
Yeah, I can't remember anything anymore. I don't even remember where I was. It was somewhere in like, is there like a loyalist category or something like that? Like
Yeah.
That's where I fell in. I think that's where I fell in.
Really?
Something like that. Yeah.
I also kind of thought of you as the knowledge person for this, where you wanted to know like the numbers, and then it was like you would present it like, okay, I believe in it now, so now I'll do it.
Well, so honestly, and
She's
I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably more of the nurturing, believe it or not. Based off of what Andrea said, like a lot of that stuff applies to me. I'm also action. So like I get overwhelmed with details sometimes. But I don't know. I saw a little bit of myself in each category. So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure in the Enneagram thing, I fell in like the loyalist in that area. So.
Yeah.
So this is 38 weeks ago that you took this. 38, mind you, that's over 3 years, but you were a 99% 8, which is the challenger, which is my wing, which is why I'm an action person.
So that means
I don't know if I've ever seen somebody get a 99% on something.
I'm just saying I was right.
Well, Jen was very intense for a while there. I think she needs to retake it and see what her current season.
I was like, that's over 3 years, so I bet you that's expired.
It's still.
Honestly, I don't know where I am in life anymore. So
you definitely have the challenger in you. I have zero doubt, but you may have grown enough.
Competitive streak, hell yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just depending on what the situation is.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, Michael, you knew me in volleyball. I have horrible hand-eye coordination. And any sport, like baseball, softball, horrible hand-eye coordination. But am I competitive? Hell yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Stupid.
She expected to win anyways.
And we never won ever.
Ever.
Ridiculous.
She would get so mad.
But to be fair, I don't think Coach, gave us what we needed. Like, we needed to do squats and shit. Because I'm telling you, if we would have done that stuff, I would have been able to jump. I could barely move.
I agree. We were not trained well. Trained well. Obviously, you're still a little salty about those years.
I was talking about it to Kenny the other day. I said, damn. I said, seriously, if we would have been doing this stuff in high school, I would have been able to do something with it.
Yep, I agree.
Whatever.
Crazy.
Those days are behind me. I'm old now.
Yeah, me too. We probably wouldn't have won anyways.
Okay, I'll take my test again, I promise.
Yeah, take your test whenever you have a second. I just was curious because
is it on the thing?
I think I linked it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's okay.
She was a very close behind 1. Her next biggest one was 1.
Interesting. Well, figure out what your first one is, and I'll tell you what your wing options are. That's actually on my to-do list.
2-8 with me.
2-8.
The giver that tells you, let's go.
The giver that wants it's competitive. Yeah, that makes no sense, but it is a thing. But I will definitely
meet me.
Yeah. But it's on my to-do list to update that. I have everything right here. I think I'm just going to take pictures and put it in an album, I think, in our team page so that we can always go back there and look at the Enneagram thing. Do we even have another team, another 1 on this team? We don't, do we? We're like all 2s. You're all 2s. Weirdos.
We don't give everybody everything.
Yeah. Cool.
You just plan out what we give out.
You just plan out what giving that you do. Okay.
I have to find out what more